My name is deoxyribonucleic acid, but my friends call me Felix the Helix. Today, I'm going to share with you my daily routine. I have a pretty important job of creating the basis of all living things. You use me in everything you do. For example, in your digestive system, you need to eat food with DNA in order to create more nucleotides to fill my replication. In your respiratory system, oxygen helps fuel ATP and particles of plants, and DNA can be breathed in. Finally, in your vascular system, you use the products absorbed in the digestive and respiratory systems which enter your bloodstream. I will tell you about the breaking of and the building of a new strand. These processes require many assistants or enzymes, so most of my life is endergonic. First, I wake up and stretch my arms and legs, also known as nitrogenous bases. My arms, cytosine and guanine, fit together like a puzzle piece with the help of 2 hydrogen bonds. My legs, adenine and thymine, go together just like my arms with the help of 3 hydrogen bonds. My cytosine and thymine limbs are both pyrimidines. They are composed of a 6-atom ring. My adenine and guanine limbs are both purines and each contain a 6-atom ring and a 5-atom ring that share 2 atoms. Scientifically speaking, each pair are also called base pairs. Then, I stretch my back, also known as my phosphate sugar backbone. It forms the structural framework of my body. All nucleic acids have one. It is made of 5 alternating carbon deoxyribose sugars and phosphate groups. My sugars are linked together by a phosphodiester bond and a CH2 group that is attached to a phosphate ion. I am an anti-parallel system, meaning one half of my body faces one way and the other half of my body faces another way. The left side of my body is the leading strand, which goes from 3' at the bottom to 5' at the top. The right side is the lagging strand, which goes from 5' at the bottom and 3' at the top. The 3' and the 5' indicate the carbon numbers in my backbone. My 5' number has a phosphate group attached to it, and my 3' carbon has a hydroxyl OH group attached to it. This asymmetry gives me a direction. To get out of bed, nucleotides attach to me, and hydrolysis occurs through combination of nucleotides and phosphate bonds. I release 2 phosphates and a pyrophosphate. Next, I begin my workday with a large glass of initiator proteins. I drive to a particular area in the genome, otherwise known as my eukaryote's entire set of chromosomes. I assign my coworkers different areas on the same floor as me to work. Gradually, as the job gets done, we come together. Once I get to my area, my initiator protein energy drink kicks in and my assistant, Helix, helps me to unzip my jacket in opposite directions. Helix always tends to my needs. Every morning, when he unzips my coat, he breaks the bonds between my limbs. It's very kind of him. My other assistants come in to stabilize each side of my body as Helix unzips me. I keep a shoe on the left side, or leading side, of my body. It's a style called RNA primer, made by my favorite company, Primase. Another trusty assistant, DNA polymerase, brings me over to the copy machine and copies my entire makeup. This is how he begins to replicate me. He creates a complementary side for each half of DNA. Here's the office gossip. We all thought DNA polymerase had a crush on RNA primer. After he copies me, he goes over to RNA primer and gives her a hug. Little does she know, he will replace her with DNA nucleotides. The nucleotides are especially important in bonding complementary pairs to create another of me. One half of my body is fairly easy to copy, the leading strand. This is because my trusty assistant, DNA polymerase, copies starting at 3' to 5', so it steadily builds as I unzip. Lagging strand is a bit trickier. DNA polymerase has to bind small fragments of nucleotides to the 5' to 3' strand as the helix unzips. He does this by building small fragments of nucleotides called Okazaki fragments and backfilling the bonds to create a complementary strand. The leading strand half of my body is continuous, but the lagging strand is discontinuous. Once I'm replicated, I start this process again. My life is very difficult, but I love my work, so that's my daily routine. Thanks for watching. Hit that like button with your nucleotides, swipe up for merch, and let me know in the comments below if you want more videos like this.